Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to ArShreelearning. Learning. We have live art sessions every weekend, and today we are having a session on watercolors. And if you are joining for the first time, please subscribe the channel. We have lot of sessions on different art forms. Today's session is on watercolor, and where I will be sharing details on how do you go about in making a watercolor portrait, watercolor painting. And in this painting session, some details of getting the painting done fast will be shown. So let's quickly start. I am using a normal watercolor sheet and using watercolor cakes, simple watercolor cakes. They are, the color box is dirty. So when we use watercolors, I have drawn a rough sketch which is very light. Maybe you will not be able to observe it. And this watercolor will be done so that the watercolors which I will be doing, they will be visible. So pencil has to be used light. Whenever we use watercolors, try to use pencil very light, and if you have to use it, then make it light. So let's start. I am starting. This painting is divided into the top area which is light and the lower area which is slightly darker, but the total combination is of yellow and blue and the earth colors. In between I will be showing you how do you get the different shades. So this area I am starting with, this is yellow. So I am using a normal brush which is round, and the number of the brush is 10 and 12 big brushes I use. You can use any number of brush which you are comfortable. Now you will see that I will be using the color, and the color use is very less. This is a very important part of watercolors. I am using a wash technique where I will not use too much of color, and the color use will be minimized. So just observe the shade. I will be showing you close up of the drawing. So this is the first layer of watercolor which is applied. So when we apply the first layer, we should use light shade. Don't use dark. If you have used light shade, you can always make it dark. So I am using light yellow, and in between I am keeping some areas purposely light, and I have left some areas white. So there will be a mixture of blue also in some areas. So you will observe that this area which I am doing here, I have left it white and using more of the water. Now what I am doing is I am using 2 or 3 shades of yellow, and there is a color chart which I would recommend all of you to use. There is a session which I did on the color chart. Now in this color chart you are seeing different shades. So I am using these 2 shades, yellow, lemon yellow and chrome yellow, and these are the different shades which we get by using mixing colors. So when I am using landscape, I am using this area of the color chart along with yellow. So these numbers are mentioned, they are fully described in the color chart. I will put the link of that color chart below this video. You can check out that which color I am using. So during the session I will be explaining which shade and which number of the color to be used. You can use that, and then the coloring will become easy. Now initially we will apply light shade and in between the leaves session, the leaves which I am making, their section of the leaves will be light, so we don't have to give detail of that. So this is the first layer which is applied, and there is this white section which you are seeing here. I will be showing the sky. Yes. So if you have any queries, like those who have joined on the Zoom, they can ask. Yes, I can hear you. And if you are joining on the YouTube live, you can type in your queries. If you are watching this video as a replay, you can type your query and I will try to solve the query later on also. So what people do, they watch the session, they make a drawing, and then they mail the drawing to the email which is mentioned in the below the description, and then they get it corrected. So this is how the learning is done. So this is first layer which I am applying. If you are trying to make this drawing, then you have to just copy the steps. So the area which I have done yellow is this area, and this area which I have left, I am using blue here, and the blue use is very light. This is the sky area. Now where we are showing a far away drawing that area, so the blue will be made light, and it will after some distance the color of blue and the yellow will mix up. So this blue which you are seeing, this will get mixed, and mixed means I have to show that the distance of the drawing, meaning the area where there is, I want to show that this area of the drawing is far away, so I am keeping it light, and the yellow and blue will mix up, so it will give a greenish shade. So just keep watching. Here I am using blue, and this area which I am leaving, there will be trees. So since this painting is a landscape, there will be colors which are the ground colors, and there is a mixture of blue. The area where there is a sky I want to show. So you can see this is the first layer being applied, and we will wait for this area to dry, then we will go to the lower area. Now where the two colors are meeting as a boundary, there you have to leave and not allow the boundary of the colors to touch, so that the colors remain separate. So the color will look very light, so you try to keep the shades light. You can make a shade dark anytime. Now what happens here, the blue and the yellow, they get mixed up. It will give an effect of sky which is greenish in shade. That gives an appearance of that the sky and the mountain, the leaves are far away. So what I am doing is, see how do you mix the shade. Apply the color and put water, and then with the brush move the brush up and let the color mix up. So this is the top area where some areas I have done. Now the white which I have left here, I want to show that there is bright sky. the color will be bright blue. So this gives an appearance of that there are leaves which are moving into the sky. So this blue we will put as an area of the sky visible through the trees. So this portion is done. Now coming to the lower area. In the lower area I will be using yellow also, but I am starting with the area where there is bushes are there. So I am using green. This green is made by mixing of blue, Persian blue. So this green I am using mixture of 2 and 6 brown. All these numbers 2 plus 6, 2 plus 7, 1 plus 6, 1 plus 7, all these shades I am using which are in this shade chart, and this helps us to match the color. So what you need to do is you have to just make this color chart. When you will make the color chart, then you can match the shade which you want to create. You are seeing that I am leaving some gap. So this is the gap of the trees which I will create, and I am applying dark green from the lower side. So the lower part of the bushes will be dark green and the upper part will be light. So the lower portion I am doing first. Now you can watch. Apply yellow over this and then let the colors mix. So from the upper side the color will be light, and from the lower side the colors will be dark. So the three tones we have to keep in mind: the dark, the middle tone and the light tone. So just watch the steps carefully. So this I have done as the upper area of the bushes. Now to give highlight, in the lower area I will apply dark shade, but that will be later on. I will wait for the color to dry. Now I want to show this house. Maybe it is not visible, but I have kept it purposely light. To show this area white, keep the outer area dark. Now let's do the hut till the time the sky and other things dry up. Now here the color applied will be light, and then we will spread and mix the color. This is the use of yellow plus little bit of burnt sienna or the brown. Again, this is first layer to be applied. It will dry. Keep this first shade light. Normally a watercolor will take time. When you try it out, it might take time, but I'll try to finish the drawing, because the session which I do, they normally last for 30 to 40 minutes, and I try to finish the drawing so that you have an idea how to go about it. Now in this lower area, that is the hut, I want to show that the hut walls are white. So here I will apply slightly bluish gray tone and keep it light. Apply and then don't touch the green, the colors will get mixed up otherwise. Now see, I want to show that there is sunlight getting reflected. How do you show the reflection? So this is the lower part of the roof. So when I apply first layer, then below it I'll use light blue and put a layer just below it. You can see when I do this and then just leave a line. Now when this will dry, then I'll give detail to it. Now here I want to use some very light yellow to fill the color and make it look like a ball. Under this I have to use a layer like this. Now let it dry. We will wait for it to dry. Till the time I'll move on to the other area. So when we use watercolors, we select areas. Now here I want to show that the wall is white. So you just see how it is shown. The lower area has to be light, and before this there will be green used. So when I will use a light shade against dark, then the lighter area automatically becomes white. See the use of green. Here I will use green. And use yellow over it. So upper part of this bush will be having a yellow or a light shade, and the lower part I will be using dark. So keep contrast of light against dark. Now see how you give the detail. In this area I will use dark. When I apply dark, then the yellow becomes automatically bright. This is green, and in this green is used by mixing of the there are different shades which are available in the boxes these days, but I prefer to mix color and then mix to give them the shade which I want. So keep light and dark in mind and then mix the shade. Now the hut area has dried. Now just see the effect of light. I want to show that the house is far away. The house is far away and it is a daytime. So when I will make this area dark, first layer I have applied. Now make this slightly dark. What happens? It gives it a dark effect, and then it will give it a shade also. Now the thing which comes now is important. I want to show that there is a opening in the house, which is since this is far away, we will not give detail, just the effect of dark against light. Now watch the roof which I am making now. This will be made by putting thin layer of brown. So this is a thing which is used in the houses in some areas. So to give that effect, I am making small dots. And then move them outside. And when you go far away, then they will become light. When I apply a dark tone in some areas, then it becomes highlighted automatically. Yes, you are right. Yes, so if you want to, in watercolors, what happens? Normally everyone tries to use flat color. But when we use watercolors, we have to use the tone of water. The colors should be transparent because the watercolors are transparent. And since they are transparent, their effect becomes good only when you are using the texture of the watercolors. A shadow on the lower part of the house When you apply shadow in the lower part of the house, then the upper area becomes bright. So from a distance, it will look like you are seeing this house from a distance. And here there is an opening in the house. Now this is done. Now let's go on to the next part of this painting. Till this dries, we'll apply a first layer of on the trees. The trees which are used here, they are, watch what I'm doing. The brown will be used, but the brown will not be used flat brown like people use. Only some areas brown will be applied, and the other area we will leave as. So this brown is mixed with a little bit of yellow, the lemon chrome yellow. Now this shows a particular texture of the tree which I am trying to create. So apply a light tone. Just see how it is done. Now this left side of the tree is light. The left side of the tree is light. So now what I am doing is this. Use water and then mix this shade, and don't mix the whole thing. Now what is going to happen? One side of the tree will become light and the other will become dark. So same thing is in this one also. It will not be in continuation. The brown which is applied will be applied on the dark, on the right side, and the left side I want to show that it is facing the sun. So what happens? One side will be dark and one side will be light. On the outer part of the tree, just watch. This is, I have just applied brown and let the other area be white, and I am spreading the color but not touching the other side. Now the other side which is there, I want to make it bright. So what I will do, just see. Just move the, now here when I will put, this is actually the sky. Now see what I have done. I have applied blue in this area, and therefore the light area of the tree has become bright. And then I am spreading this shade. So the other area of the tree becomes bright, and this is how we create this dark against light effect. Same thing will be done here also. On the right side, I will use a darker shade. Towards the top, the color will be used in leaving space in between. There will be branches. Now let's start with the green. Now green, when you will apply, the green application will be in this area. There is a tree which I will create. So I am directly using the color for creating the effect. So put color in the center and just watch the movement of the brush. When you do this, then the tree effect and the leaves effect will become bright. So everywhere the color will not be same. Now keep this color light because this tree is far away. Now this tree I am making without, there was no drawing done beforehand. So direct use of just watch the movement of the brush. I'll show you. Just apply the color and then use towards the top end of the tree. The color will be, some areas will be light and some areas will be dark. So always keep the lower area of the tree branches as well as the if it is a tall tree, so therefore what I am doing, the lower part of the tree I have kept dark and towards the top the color will be light. Now this is just a layer. It will look like it is just a layer, but when I will make give detail to the branches, then it will look different. The effect will change immediately. So keep the three tones in mind. Apply the color and so since this is a far away thing, keep the colors light, but from the lower side watch what you have to do. The green and little bit of black you will use at some places. Because the color is already there is water there. Apply the shade and then mix it. So this is how we do it. Now we move fast because now you must have understood how do we go about it. Now see, to create the bush, this is the lower area. Just below it I will be using yellow. So light against dark, that is the, I would say, that is the mantra of shading, whether it is watercolor. Now people ask that why watercolor? Watercolor is very important if you want to learn any medium of coloring, whether it is watercolor or acrylic oil, then you must know the use of watercolors properly. If your watercolors are strong, then you will be able to use any medium. And I have seen that now people have started using digital colors. So even if you are using digital color, digital medium, and you are creating shade, mixing and all, the effect will only be possible if you know the shades. So therefore I recommend that practice use of watercolors as much. There is a little bit of bush here, and these trees which are uh, tall and they have reflection on the ground, so that also has to be shown. So I am using, keeping the colors light first. So keep the shade light and you can make it dark anytime. Okay, so now the lower area, first layer I have applied. Now the upper area of the tree. Towards the left side there is more of yellow, and the leaves will be shown. So you will have to use more water and less of the color. Keep the uh, keep the effect transparent. Now watch the movement of the brush. I'll show you a close-up. These are the branches and the leaves are higher up, they are far away, so colors should be light. You are watching that the colors are mixing with the, they should mix with the ground. And towards the lower side I want to show some detail. So see what I will do. I have to move the brush, showing gentle soft brush movement with leaves, branches. You just put the color and then let it spread. So first I have made the branches, the main stem I have made. Now the lighter area which I had left, towards the left side I am applying the dark shade, and then towards the outer side I will leave it yellow only. Keep watching how do you give the branches and the leaves effect. Now everywhere the branches and this, because the trees are same type, this is one particular area, so the leaves and the texture of the leaf will be matching. They should match. It will not be a different. So just apply a dot and then towards the top. Towards the top you have to use yellow mixed with slight brown. This is, I want to show a wash effect. So I am not using too much of color. You can observe that the color is almost transparent. Now watch what I will do to show the effect of the trees. When this portion of the leaf is done, now in between after the green portion has been done, now the method of showing branches in the tree along with the stem, I am giving some texture to the stem of the tree. Now see what happens when we give a dark and some detail to the branch, then it looks like it is real. Now a thin stem I want to show, and the branches are going which are dried. So you will move, take a thin brush, apply a dark tone, mixture of brown and green as well as light black. Now these branches which are crossing from one tree, going from one tree on the other side, they are important. they will give reality, and they will give effect that there are branches which are in the tree and they are passing through the leaf. Your branches will be shown passing through. Now this dry branch which I am showing, this will show the effect of that some of the leaves in the lower part of the tree have dried out and there are branches. So we will not continue all the branches connected. So we show them by breaking the contact. So it will look like this. Now hold the brush from a distance. If you are not comfortable, you can hold it from anywhere. Dark is important, so just mix brown, a little bit of black. Now the shadow on the ground will have to be shown. So you will use again yellow, green, the green which is prepared by mixing yellow and blue. And now the shadow is important on the ground. Now this shadow which is on the ground will make the effect, will change the effect of the drawing. And the shade of the tree on the ground will be parallel because the trees are nearby. So you can see the shade is coming up. Now towards this side, the ground is to be shown that it is not smooth. So some areas of the ground will be in yellow, some will be in, the shade should be in dark. So the area which I have left white or very light, that area will be having strokes of shadow. And it is not black, it is mixture of, yes, there is a mixture. Now I will be finishing it fast. Side by side the highlighting is required. The green, the lower part of the green has to be done dark. So towards the lower side you put some dots of dark green. and the dark green I am using light, the green which I have created, in that you mix little bit of black. This is the highlight of the painting. So what happens, the darker area makes the lighter area bright. You can see. Now quickly we'll finish it. The main part, you have seen that the drawing was how the steps were I have shown you. Now when I will use dark in some area, then what will happen? Watch what is going to happen. It will give a effect of light. You can see, I will show you a closer. So when I will use a dark in some areas, what happens? Now this is important, this part. This I want to show that there are some bushes here. So again, watch the green created by yellow and blue, which I have shown you in the color chart. There are different shades available, but I prefer to use my mixture of the color. It gives a natural green shade. So the brush movement will be random. And towards the one side they will be dark shade. So when I apply shade on one side, then it appears that the light is falling from the left side. Now towards the lower side, I am to give close up these things which are towards the lower end. Here in this part, this is near my eyes, so here see I have to give slight more detail. So here this will give it depth. The painting will have depth. Now to show some detail in the ground, show that there is something lying on the ground. Just dark highlights and some. So watch the final finishing touches. So the darker areas I am highlighting now. So you will randomly put these. This is actually yellow and little bit of green. So everywhere the shade will not be with the same darkness, it will be changing. Now here I am creating a tree. It was not there, but I wanted to create it. So you watch how it is done. Now in between I have to show some branches. They will be thin and dark and black. So these linings are actually the branches which we have to show, but they are not shown full. We have to show incomplete branches passing through. And these are just black lines which are showing that the branches are visible through the trees. So this is a tall tree and it will have some dry branches. These branches which are created, they are created by mixing brown and green. Now just have a closer look. Just move, take thin line and move it and don't connect it to the tree. Make a thin line and connect it so that it looks like a branch. So these dark lines which are created, they are important. Now we are about to finish. So those of you who